I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be talking about games your ex plays when they want you back. You know, we do see games in various ways after a breakup. Because, you know, when somebody is ending a long-term relationship or a meaningful relationship, even though that partner might be acting like they're really sure about the decision, they're not always as sure as they're showing you.
In fact, rarely. I'm going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so today we're going to talk about this. I think it's really important for you guys to understand that games, for me, is a lot of inconsistent behavior. That you'll see that sometimes they're interested in you and they're giving you some attention and, you know, maybe even saying that they want to see you, and then they disappear, right? And so it keeps you from moving on because you think, well, they're reaching out, they're showing me some attention, it sounds like maybe we can turn this around, and, you know, it's tough to navigate, okay? One way I like to look at it is if somebody is shopping, okay? They're in the store, they got their little shopping cart, they're going around the store, and they find an outfit that they like, okay? They're not crazy about the outfit. They don't know if they want to get it for sure, but they do like it. But they want to keep shopping around that store and see if something better comes along. They don't want to get rid of the outfit first until they think they've got something better that comes along. And a lot of times your ex is kind of acting like that with you. They like you. You've been a big part of their life. They're not sure they want to let you go, but they're also looking to see, does something else come along? Now, this isn't for every situation, but it does happen.
True, and many times people might not think of it as clearly as that analogy. For a lot of people, it might not even be intentional. And it's reflective of their own mixed feelings, of they're not sure whether they want to commit to you or not. And so then that leaves them trying to communicate with you in indirect ways and not being direct with their needs and their wants for the relationship. So on your end, it seems like games, it seems like they're maliciously trying to trick you or illusion you with something that's going on, when in fact it's just their own mixed feelings that are causing them to behave this way. So that's important to remember.
And they're thinking that you're manipulating them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So today we got some examples and we're going to talk about some different things that we see, and if you think that we missed any, leave them in the comment section and we'll talk about them in the future videos if you like this topic. I think a big one is if your ex is trying to make you jealous, right? They want to see, do you still care? Sometimes they'll do things on social media to trigger you, to see if you're going to react, reach out, respond. I had a girl last week that the ex posted that he was in a new relationship on Facebook, and so she got mad, and she was like, oh, well, it's nice to see you've got a new girlfriend right away, right? So you don't want to get triggered by stuff like that. I know it's going to bother you. Of course it's going to bother you, but you don't want to lash out.
Yeah, and especially if you've gone no contact, your ex might be shocked by the fact that they don't have your attention anymore, especially if they're used to you giving them loads of attention every day, then all of a sudden it stops. They might try to do something to instigate you to communicate with them. And that's not a direct way of communicating with you. This is not a list of ideal ways that exes can talk to you. But that is something that you might see. And that's the trick, is that they're not talking with you directly or communicating their feelings. They're trying to get your attention by making you feel threatened.
Yeah. A lot of times they'll start contacting or reaching out to people that you know. They'll try and reach out to your family, stop by somebody that you were friends with their job, or a family member's job, or something like that. And so they're trying to get information because they're not so sure if they really want this breakup, but they don't want to tell you that.
Right. I want to talk about third party. There's a presentation I did months ago, maybe even a year ago, that I entitled The Ubiquitous Third Party. Ubiquitous means everywhere there is one. So there are ubiquitous third parties who are willing to carry messages back and forth between you, your girlfriend, or whoever. And these people are very interested in being in the middle between family members and someone who's involved in a breakup, and so forth and so on. And we caution you that it's dangerous, because eventually an ex is going to see it as intrusive, that you're contacting friends, family, etc., kind of behind their back. And it's not a good idea, no matter how anxious you are, to go that route. And if you're trying to get somebody's attention, it's still not a good way to go about that. If you have something to communicate directly, is absolutely the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's a really good point, how exes can use other people in your life to try to communicate with you instead of just going to you. So it makes things really confusing, and, you know, a lot of people in the mix just makes things a lot more complex.
Not only that,
complex,
but the information is often inaccurate.
Yeah,
absolutely.
true.
Absolutely.
You might only be getting partial information or misdirected information. It's hard to know
And
how
we've
accurate.
had people almost having a nervous breakdown over information they couldn't verify.
Yeah, and people do have ulterior motives.
Yeah.
So they could twist that information however they'd like.
And, you know, one of the thoughts would be, if somebody communicates directly with you, that's fine. But if it's crazy and complicated and involves 5 people, don't do it.
Now, if you do have direct communication with your ex, another way that they could be playing games with you, or that you could think that they're playing games, is if they're being flaky. So let's say you do set up a time where you talk, or a time where you go out, and then they cancel on you last minute when you don't expect it, and they kind of lead you on to make you believe that they are going to follow through, and then they don't. So you, on your end, are feeling really disappointed, feeling like, okay, what's going on? First you tell me one thing, then you do another, and it's just really confusing. So once again, this could be reflective of their mixed feelings, but that doesn't mean that you have to tolerate it either.
No.
Yeah. But when it happens, it's just so disappointing.
Yeah.
It's incredibly disappointing.
Yes, if you miss this person and suddenly they cancel on you, it's terrible.
Another thing that they might do is leave things at your house. Sometimes they don't take all of their stuff. They leave some of the stuff. Sometimes it's important items. Sometimes it's items that are trivial, and yet they make it seem like they still want you to keep those things. Sometimes they'll say that they're coming to get those things, and then they don't, or ask you to meet up and exchange things, and then they don't. And you know, I really think that unconsciously, Margaret, they're not wanting to let go.
I would agree, and I was thinking the same thing. So they have very mixed feelings. They want to break up with you, but part of them certainly doesn't. So in one way they tell you to go away, and in another way they hold on to you. It's very confusing.
Yeah, and it also makes me think of a transitional object.
Yes, exactly.
You know, that if you give up those items, it's like giving up a piece of you or a part of you.
You know, it's easy to keep something, some object perhaps that was important to your ex, and somehow holding on to that can make you feel like almost like they're present. You know,
and not only that, they know that if they don't get that stuff, they can eventually reach out with an easy excuse.
there's always an easy excuse, right?
Yeah. So they have some sort of tie with you still.
Yep.
Yeah. Another way that they could do that is also if they try to maintain a friendship with you. So they might have also broken up with you this way by saying, let's be friends instead. And so they will try to maintain this friendship, but they could be flirty with you even while communicating with you on a friendly level. And so then this gives you a whole bunch of mixed messages of, okay, they said they wanted friendship, but here they are sending me winky faces and heart emojis. What's going on here? So this could be their way of trying to keep you close to them and also share some of those romantic feelings, but without the commitment. So once again, this is not fair to you, and this is the relationship being on their terms and you not having a say in what you would like.
Exactly.
So they have a right to break up with you, and you have a right to be their friend if you want to be. However, if your strategy is to try to get them back, remaining friends is not the way to go. And we have plenty of videos on this and the backstory as to why, but it's important to understand that your ex could use this as a way of keeping you in the loop without that committal.
Yeah. A good rule is if you have something to say to me, say it directly, and I'll be happy to respond to you. But am I going to do mental gymnastics to figure out what you really mean? No.
Yeah, at the end of the day, exes can do confusing things. And it's a lot of times because they're confused themselves.
Absolutely.
They may not present themselves as being confused, but that doesn't mean that they're not thinking about you throughout the day or when they go to sleep at night, or, you know, are reminded of you constantly, or thinking about, you know, oh, we were supposed to do that this weekend, or upcoming plans that you had. All kinds of things are going to leave them feeling confused themselves. And, you know, it's not always malicious.
No.
Sometimes it's just because they really don't know what they want. So you got to be careful with proceeding. You want to protect yourself, but you don't want to completely ignore them just because they might have some mixed messages. They need to process it. They need to think about things. They need to realize who they're losing and what that person, what you bring into their life. And it takes time to really think about that and really feel that loss.
Yeah, and it's also important to think about why they're playing those games. And I think, Margaret, you touched on this earlier about how they're probably afraid that you'll reject them.
Sometimes, yeah, they're afraid to come back because they're afraid that you will reject them. But it's overall terribly confusing. And, you know, sometimes you have to say to somebody, you need to make up your mind. It sounds like you're unsure. Take some space, think it over, and let me know when things are clearer to you. And I think some people may think that there's some power in keeping you confused. In keeping someone else in a position where they don't know what to expect, and that you can't tolerate.
Yep, it's like leaving you in the shopping cart while they walk around looking for something else.
Yeah.
And, you know, they have the right to do that, but you also have the right to say, okay, I'm not going to tolerate this. Okay, there's going to be some uncertainty.
Right.
Totally understandable, but you definitely don't want to put your life on hold.
No.
And you definitely don't want to settle for friendship. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And of course, that's what we're here for. You can get a coaching with us. We've been doing this for a long time, and we'll talk about what we see for your unique situation and give you our input, and we'll be happy to help with that. If you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I can be helpful to you, please sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. And of course, Coach Victoria will continue to train with us.
I'll still be here.
And as of right now, she's doing videos with Coach Margaret, but won't be forever. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.